As Azerbaijani jets and shells fly overhead, there's a scramble for shelter in Stepanakert. Some civilians in the separatist region of Nagorno Karabakh are beginning to show the strain.
Мы как-то отправили своих детей, маленьких, здесь нету маленьких, только вот старики, женщины и мы. И что нам делать? Мы вот сидим, дрожим, молимся. Господи, спаси, сохрани нас, чтобы ничего не случилось. Мы просим мировое сообщество спасти и сохранить нашу жизнь.
Artillery shelling has become a daily occurrence both in the breakaway Armenian enclave and in Azerbaijan, where Baku said at least 5 towns and cities had come under bombardment on Monday. Both sides have so far ignored international calls for a ceasefire, and Azerbaijan's president had an ultimatum for his Armenian counterpart.
Bizim əsas məqsədimiz bundan ibarətdir. Bu məqsəd tarixi ədaləti sağlayacaq. Eyni zamanda uluslararası qanunlara da hörmət əlaməti kimi qəbul edilməlidir. Çünki Dağlıq Qarabağ və digər işğal edilmiş torpaqlar Azərbaycanın tarixi.
That possibility seems further away than ever, with Armenia refusing to back down and even calling on veterans to re-enlist to fight. This as those who can head west for the Armenian border and relative safety. It's a flow that's moving both ways, with Armenian volunteers sending what donations of humanitarian aid they can back east.
Missiles fired into Mingaverich, the fourth largest city in Azerbaijan. 2 of them hit a nearby hydropower complex, which is the largest in the Caucasus region. Azeri officials say critical civilian infrastructure is under imminent threat. Armenia denies that.
We are deeply concerned about the situation in and around Nagorno Karabakh. We are, of course, watching the situation very carefully. We have all seen the reports about the increased number of casualties, also civilian casualties, and of course any fighting like this also poses a risk to all kinds of critical infrastructure.
Despite being far from the front line, Azerbaijan's second largest city, Ganja, was also attacked. Armenia denies involvement in the killing of 6 civilians. Other Azeri cities such as Tartar and Berde, which are close to Nagorno Karabakh, were also targeted.
We live in this city. The Armenian fascists have been bombing this town for days and spreading chaos in this place. Our homes were bombed and destroyed, and we stayed in the middle like this. Everyone went.
Azerbaijan's military is also in action. Nagorno-Karabakh's main city, Stepanakert, has been heavily shelled since Sunday. It's the most intensive bombing of the city since the war in 1994. The town of Shushi, 10 kilometers from Stepanakert, was also bombed all day Monday.
Azerbaijani armed forces started targeting intentionally civilian objects and population, as a result of which we have already tens of casualties and much more wounded.
Armenia's prime minister is asking all young men who have recently been demobilized to come back to join the battle. Nikol Pashinyan is urging them to fight to the death and ensure victory in this war. The 2 former Soviet republics have long been in conflict over Azerbaijan's breakaway, mainly ethnic Armenian region of Nagorno Karabakh. The latest fighting, now into its second week, follows cross-border attacks in July when an already fragile ceasefire was broken. Then Azerbaijan's defense ministry threatened Armenia with attacks on the Metsamor nuclear power plant. This region serves as a corridor for pipelines carrying oil from the Caspian Sea to international markets. Any threat to stability heightens customers' concerns about supply. Given the intense fighting on the Nagorno-Karabakh front line and missiles striking densely populated areas, many questions
Բայց միևնույն է, էլի մեր ոգին անպարտելի է, հաղթելու ենք ու վերջ, ուզում է Թուրքիան չլինի, ով ուզում է գա։
Turkey has pledged to do what is necessary to help Azerbaijan, although Ankara's exact role in the conflict is far from clear. These shots by Armenian state TV showed Stepanakert the previous day, with the scars of war on deserted streets. This confrontation goes back to the 1990s, when Armenian-backed separatists declared independence from Azerbaijan. There have been occasional outbreaks of violence since a 1994 truce. But the new fighting appears to be heavier, with large numbers of drones and tanks. On the Azerbaijani side of the front line, the city of Tartar has also come under fire. This area houses many people who lost their homes in the 1990s conflict.
Değerli düştü bizim binaya, 26'dan 27'nin ara mesafesi var, orada düştü oraya. Yoldaş vardı, ondan kaça geldik ki çekek. O yoldaş dedi ki bu biri baştan herrenek. Keçti buradan tepenin üstüne çıkmak isteyirdik ki oradan çekek. Ona kadar bizim qabağımıza düştü. Özümüzü tulladık, xəndəyin altına uzandık. Çünkü benim atam hərbiçi olduğuna, benim atam demişti ki həmişə elə bir şey olanda uzanın. Uzandık, qəlbələr üstümüzdən keçdi getdi. Yəni ziyan dəymədi də.
The local authorities said 2 people were killed and 2 wounded in this shelling. On both sides of the conflict, dozens of people have been killed and hundreds wounded.